This is William Armstrong. I've got an article I want to read off of cgmaonline.com right here. And this is going to talk about the PSN network hack. In this group, Lapsus is behind this one. The Lapsus group I made a YouTube video about before, but this time it's the same group doing it again, called Lapsus all over again. Deja vu with the Lapsus group. I've made a video before about it that's done some attacks too, but this time Sony gets stung by it. It says here, Sony PlayStation hack. What we know so sure about the Lapsus cyber attack. New hack could be serious issues for users. This article is written by Brendan Fry, September 25th, 2023. Sony is once again facing potential security breach, this time by a ransomware group claiming to have hacked into PlayStation systems. The group, known as Lapsus, announced the alleged hack on their dark website on Sunday. While the details remain scarce, this could have major implications for PlayStation users if true. Uh-oh. According to the ransomware group, they have breached all of Sony's systems and stolen valuable data, including source code for their games and firmware. Yikes! As proof, they have shared some screenshots of what appears to be an internal login page, PowerPoint presentation, file directory. However, cybersecurity experts say this information is not very compelling. None of it's particularly compelling information on the face of the thing, said Cybersecurity Connect. They believe Lapsus may be exaggerating the extent of their hack. At this time, based on the limited data, it is incredibly hard to determine the scope or how credible the boasts from the hackers are. PlayStation's online services do not appear to have been impacted so far, with no word of user data is at risk. This remains to be unseen what happens. This is unforeseen consequences, possibly. This is not the first time Sony systems have been targeted. In 2011, the PlayStation Network suffered a major breach that exposed 77 million users' personal information. Sony ended up shutting down PSN for nearly a month to overhaul security. Yikes! So PSN was down for nearly 1 month, causing problems. Issues of online play being completely blocked out, or online play being completely blacked out due to the PSN network being down for a long while. More recently, in 2014, Sony Pictures fell victim to a devastating hack by North Korea in retaliation for the film The Interview. Terabytes of sensitive data, including upcoming movie scripts and employees' personal and medical information, were leaked. Time will tell if Sony can recover the systems yet again from a major cyber attack, but some PlayStation users may need to brace themselves for potential impacts. I have a PSN account. I do have one. I made one during the PS3. I had a used PS3 I brought from a game store called Second and Charles, and I actually had a PSN account that I had to make in order to buy PSN games on PS3 directly and PS4 and things like that. So I have a PSN account, but I don't really use it. I've used it in the past just to buy games and message people, and oftentimes I've had bots on PSN spam weird NSFW adult web links to me and other people on PSN. I've had that happen before. But it's been a long while since I've used my PSN account. I'll continue. And there goes a Temu ad. Darn you, Temu, darn you. I don't need that ad in my face. If Lapsus claims are true, this breach could have similar consequences. Important source code and intellectual property could be at risk of leaking. There is also potential for significant disruption of PSN network services. As with any hacks, we advise users to preemptively change any passwords that may also be used on any PlayStation service to avoid any issues with other online accounts. CGM magazine has reached out for comment, but at the time of writing, Sony has not officially confirmed or denied the scope of the breach and will update the story if the situation changes. So here's a heads up. So Sony's gotten double breached, actually 3 times. 3 separate incidents. One dating back to 2011, one dating back to 2014, and now a new one in 2023 that is not fully yet confirmed yet. So Sony has been breached at least 3 times. One of the breaches is not fully confirmed, but the 2 others have been confirmed. One involving the movie called The Interview, involving that, and the other one regarding the PSN network for PS3 users being down for an entire month, creating tons of complaints and headaches to pile up and prop up the complaints paper announcements, or the complaints announcements on social media, prop up the end of it very tall enough that people were very hot-headed and angry about it. I can understand, rightfully so, why people had every right to scream loudly at Sony on social media over them taking down the PSN network for 1 month to overdo security, to upgrade the security that's been long overdue. Example of security updates was on PS3. There has been an update where you can no longer password login on a PS3 system. You have to use a one-time password or an app password for it. That was a system change. Let me look that up and tell you more. The very recent PS3 update came out in 2023, February, over about more than 6 months ago, or at least 6 months ago, was version 4.90 as the very last update. But the initial release of the PS3 system software was version 1.10 or 1.1, but version 3.2 took away the other OS feature in PS3, causing Sony to get sued for that. The initial slim PS3 SKUs have shipped with a unique firmware with the new features, also seen in software version 3. But here's the history of updates list. It's going to get pretty long, but I'll speed jump to the final one. Update 2.4 was withdrawn directly. A small number of users had problems, unable to restart their consoles after performing an update, which is why the faulty update was pulled, messing things up. It was certain system administrative data being contained in the HDD preventing the system from functioning properly. Update 3.21 caused Sony to get class action lawsuits up all over the place with Sony. Sony eventually settled in 2016, but 4.4.5 was automatically withdrawn due to same issue with the other update. Things like that. So basically the PS3 system software had 2 withdrawals of 4.4 and withdrawal of 2.4, and 3.21 and 3.0 had class action lawsuits filed against the 2 firmware revisions of them. But let me see here, hold on. This system software update just automatically updates the renewed Blu-ray player encryption key, and that's about it. That's as far as it tends to update. But version 4.9 improved system performance while changing the Blu-ray firmware key, or encryption key for it. And then version 4.89 introduced a device password for enhanced account protection. So PS3s that are running 4.89 now need a device password. Sony has also blocked account creation for PSN Network, and some account management features are disabled on the console due to 4.89. This is for security, but now it requires you to use a PC or mobile browser to use account management controls with improved performance, speed, and safety. So Sony purposely blocked account creation and account management features on PS3 version 4.89. The last version is 4.9. So there's no telling if Sony will have another PS3 system software release eventually. There's no telling, only time will tell, but that's about it for this video. This is William Armstrong signing out. See you next time. Bye-bye.